السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. This juz is very beautiful. It's filled with really beautiful surah, mashallah. It has Najm, Rahman, mashallah. Rahman is, what a beautiful surah. Everything rhymes, it's just wonderful. Then we have Al-Waqi'. And Allah Azza wa Jal says something beautiful like فَلَا أُقْسِمُ بِمَوَاقِعِ النُّجُومِ. That's profound. Allah Azza wa Jal says, I don't even need to swear by how magnificent, how profound the locations of the stars. Allah Azza wa Jal doesn't swear by the stars, it says the locations of the stars. I'm not going to delve into that today, but maybe our highlights to take home, or maybe Brother Ahab, I don't know where he is, maybe he can delve into that. It's really wonderful. And then we get into Surah Al-Hadid. Surah Al-Hadid, I have a very special relationship with Surah Al-Hadid. It's radi'ati. It's what keeps me in check. Surah Al-Hadid really keeps me in check. Every time I read it, I'm like, I need to focus on it. I really need to focus on it. Surah Al-Hadid is something very special to me. It's made up of 5 parts. It's made up of five parts. But before I get into that, Surah Al-Hadid is among around 7 surahs that starts with some sort of tasbih. And so perhaps it's incumbent to delve into what sabbaha or subhana, what does that mean? What's sabaha? Sabaha for Arabic speakers might be to swim. And that makes sense. But sabaha is ba'ada. It's to put distance between 2 things. Sabaha is to put distance between 2 things. And so when we say Subhanallah, we are separating, we are discriminating. There is a true criterion between everything that is Allah Azza wa Jal and everything else. Allah Azza wa Jal is a breed apart. Subhanallah Azza wa Jal, He is far from everything that is imperfect. He is far from anything that is unbecoming of Allah Azza wa Jal. He is glorious as He is. He is perfect. So when we say Subhanallah, that's one of the meanings. And those 7 or so surahs, there's also a very interesting pattern. It starts, for example, with Surah Al-Isra. Subhanalladhi asra. Subhanalladhi asra. Allah Azza wa Jal is showing us Subhan to this distance, but as a noun, as a phenomenon. First, as a phenomenon. And then we see Sabbaha. Sabbaha lillah. So now there are creatures, there are beings that are doing tasbih, that have done tasbih, I should say. It is in the past. Sabbaha lillah. And then we see Yusabbihu lillahi ma fi samawati wal ard. After Surah Al-Hadid, Yusabbih. It's in the present tense. There are folks there are beings that are doing tasbih of Allah Azza wa Jalla. And then finally we see Sabbih isma rabbika al-a'la. It's an order, it's a command. Be among those. Don't be left out. There is a phenomenon of tasbih. And there are people and beings before you. And there are people doing it now. Don't miss out. Don't miss out. Sabbih isma rabbika al-a'la. And we see this, subhanallah, in Surah Al-Waqi', at the very end of Surah Al-Waqi', Allah Azza wa Jalla says, فَسَبِّحْ بِاسْمِ رَبِّكَ الْعَظِيمِ. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling us to do tasbih. Say subhanallah. سَبَّحَ لِلَّهِ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَهُوَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He shows us something really beautiful in this surah. It is made up of 5 parts. This is what some ulama are saying. Of course, these things are all up to interpretation, and we all have imperfect comprehension. But one of the most beautiful things I heard is that it is made up of 5 parts. Number 1 is the iman of Allah Azza wa Jalla, is the belief in Allah Azza wa Jalla, His greatness, His perfection, His glory. He is unlike other. And we see Allah Azza wa Jalla list a few of His properties, all glorifying Allah Azza wa Jalla. له ملك السماوات. He owns the samawat and the ard and the dunya. Yuhyi wa yumit. He controls life and death. Allah Azza wa Jalla shows us and takes us on this beautiful journey of the glory and the perfection that is Allah Azza wa Jalla. That is the first part of Surah Al-Hadid. The last part, the 5th part of Surah Al-Hadid, is that of belief in the prophets. لقد أرسلنا رسلنا ولقد أرسلنا نوحا وإبراهيم ثم قفينا على آثارهم برسلنا وقفينا بعيسى بن مريم in Surah Al-Baqarah. And so we see multiple ayahs. Allah is talking about prophets. Believe in the prophets. Believe in the prophets. First part, believe in Allah Azza wa Jalla. Last part, believe in the prophets. Excellent. Let's move on with the sandwich. The second part, Allah Azza wa Jalla speaks about Iman and paying. Iman and paying. We see Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, آمنوا بالله ورسوله وأنفقوا. Believe in the prophets. Believe in Allah Azza wa Jalla and the prophets, and spend. وأنفقوا مما جعلكم مستخلفين. And spend from what Allah Azza wa Jalla is giving you. Allah Azza wa Jalla, in another ayah, He says, من ذا الذي يقرض الله قرضا حسنا. Wallahi, each of these ayat, wallahi, they take. I listen to people that actually know what they're talking about. Not, faqir, this poor guy. Wallahi, they speak for hours. Just like they take one ayah and they speak for an hour. It's absolutely beautiful. It says, من ذا الذي يقرض. Who would give Allah Azza wa Jalla a loan? A loan. Loans, when you give a loan, you get it back. Allah Azza wa Jalla, in a way, He's promising us. What you give, you're not giving. You're giving it to yourself. You're not really giving anything. من ذا الذي يقرض الله قرضا حسنا فيضاعفه. Allah Azza wa Jalla multiplies it, and He doesn't say, and He will double it, and He will triple it, He will quadruple it. Allah Azza wa Jalla does not put a number. Look at the mercy of Allah Azza wa Jalla. He does not put a number. Multiples. فيضاعفه له وله أجر كريم. And Allah Azza wa Jalla rewards this with an ajr, with a reward that is kareem. Kareem is to be what's the word? What's the opposite of miserly? Generous. Jazakumullah khair. Allah yakhikum. With a reward that is generous, a generous reward. And when Allah Azza wa Jalla, Al-Kareem, describes a reward as kareem, then it is very, very, very generous. So this is the second. So we talked about the first, the last. Now we went to the second. Let's see what the fourth holds. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, in the third, Jazakumullah khair, Allah yakum. He says, الَّذِينَ يَبْخَلُونَ وَيَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبُخْلِ. There are those that are not just miserly. Not only do they not spend, but they don't want even others to spend. We see again Allah Azza wa Jalla speaking about Iman and giving. We see Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, إِنَّ الْمُصَّدِّقِينَ وَالْمُصَّدِّقَاتِ وَأَقْرَضُوا اللَّهَ قَرْضًا حَسَنًا. Those who give sadaqat, and that they loan Allah Azza wa Jalla قَرْضًا حَسَنًا يُضَاعِفُ لَهُمْ وَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ كَرِيمٌ. Oh, I already went through this. Forgive me, please. Actually, since we're here again, why مُصَّدِّقِينَ, not مُتَصَدِّقِينَ? I just learned this from Brother Ihab, mashallah. Why مُصَّدِّقِينَ? Anybody? Let's see if anybody knows. Why مُصَّدِّقِينَ, not مُتَصَدِّقِينَ? صيغة مبالغة. الله يكرمكم. It is to put emphasis, to increase the amount of sadaqah. And Brother Ihab, what he says is, there's a shadda. How many shaddas on this word? The sad has a shadda. Musadd, and the dal has a shadda. 2 shaddas. How about mutasaddiqeen? Allahu Akbar. Only in the dal. So it's more in the musaddiqeen. Subhanallah. So we see in the first and the last, Iman in Allah Azza wa Jal, Iman in the prophets. And then Iman in giving, and Iman in giving. And then finally, the jawhara, the jewel that is in the middle. What is the jawhara? What is all of this meant to protect? What is all of this meant to uphold? Nur. What all of this is to do is to protect a particular light. We see Allah Azza wa Jalla describes a very unique scene. A scene that we don't hear about in any other place in the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He says, يَوْمَ تَرَى الْمُؤْمِنِينَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ يَسْعَى نُورُهُمْ بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ. On that day, you will see that they have a light. They will have, those who believe, they will have a light between their hands. What's between your hands? If you stretch out your hands, what's between your hands? Your chest, your qalb. So the iman, the Mufassirin, they say the iman is here. That's where the light, where Allah Azza wa Jal puts light. This is the reward. Allah Azza wa Jal puts light here. بَيْنَ أَيْدِيهِمْ وَبِأَيْمَانِهِمْ, and in their right hands as well. Allah Azza wa Jal, all over the Quran, shares the same message and reminds us and reminds us and reminds us. وَالْعَصْرِ إِنَّ الْإِنسَانَ لَفِي خُسْرٍ إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ. How many times have you come across this in the Quran? Al-Iman is in the heart. وَالْعَمِلُ الصَّالِحِ, good deeds, you do with your hands. Action. And so these are sources of light on a day where there is no light. On a day where people cannot even see their own feet. Where in a day where they might not be able to even see far enough to step. In a day where some are so unlucky, or have it so hard, that they have no idea where to go. And the most they get is but a glimpse in the distance. And so in this sorrowful state, this very sorry state, they say, give us some of your light. I'm just, please, I want to borrow a little bit of your, I can't see. And what is said to them, go back to, as into this dunya. But it's too late, of course. Of course it's too late. Go back and get, and find your light. And finally, what we find is these are people that perhaps did believe at some point. They did believe at some point, but have lost their faith. And have fell into nifaq, and have tested themselves, and fatanu anfusahum, and took their time, and instead of repairing, and instead of doing better and doing tawbah, they actually took their time and took longer and longer and longer. Ultimately, Allah Azza wa Jalla says, أَلَمْ يَأْنِ لِلَّذِينَ آمَنُوا أَن تَخْشَعَ قُلُوبُهُمْ لِذِكْرِ اللَّهِ. Is it not high time, brothers and sisters? We're listening to this Quran, this whole chapter of Ramadan. We're on the night of the 26th. How much Quran do we need to hear? How much? How much is enough? How many reminders do we need to hear? How many Ramadans need to have passed in our lives for us to be, all right, I get it. I will do better. Alam ya'ni. Is it not high time? Wallahi, do you have no shame? Wallahi, when I read these, I feel like, do I have no shame? Like, no shame? Do I feel nothing? ألم يأن للذين آمنوا أن تخشع قلوبهم. Have خشوع بالله عز وجل. أن تخشع قلوبهم لذكر الله وما نزل من الحق. And don't be like those who have received the Quran before, because others have received this message but did nothing with it. فطال عليهم الأمد وكثير منهم فاسقون. I will leave you with one final positive note. Allah Azza wa Jalla, just one ayah after, says اعلموا. No. اعلموا أن الله يحيي الأرض بعد موتها. If Allah Azza wa Jalla can bring life into a dead plant, we see this in Canada all the time. Snow comes, trees die. They literally look dead. By all accounts, they're dead. No way are they going to plant. No way is there any green coming out of the plant. But Allah Azza wa Jalla does. Allah Azza wa Jalla can do this to that plant. Allah Azza wa Jalla can do this to our hearts. And we need only but ask. استهدوني أهلكم. So ask Allah Azza wa Jalla hidayah. Allahumma hdina ya Rabbana. Oh Allah Azza wa Jalla, make us of those who hear what we hear and follow the best of it, Ya Rabbil Alameen. Oh Allah Azza wa Jalla, give us hidayah from the Quran. Oh Allah Azza wa Jalla, put lights in our hearts and in our right hands. Wa akhir da'wana alhamdulillah rabbil alamin.